In this world, I am the master of my own future, and I can fly high, because I am the hero.
Hey guys, the Black Critic Guy back with another anime review for Sports Month, and that review is on the anime Pong the Animation. So Pong the Animation follows two childhood friends, Hoshino and Tsukimoto, who are extremely gifted at the game of ping pong, as their skills are put to the test with new challenges, as well as dealing with the awkward phase of adolescence. Now, I didn't know much about this anime going into it. All I truly knew was that it was going to deal with ping pong in some way, shape, or form, but I mean, the title kind of gave that away. If you did not know that this anime was going to be focusing on ping pong, you're either blind, never seen ping pong in your life, which, I mean, where have you been, or completely stupid. But I did see a really small clip of this anime about a year ago when Funimation posted the anime on their YouTube channel, and I gotta be honest, I was a little taken aback by the animation style. I personally thought that it looked ugly, like it looked really terrible. But at the same time, I was very intrigued by the animation style. I've never seen an anime animated in this sort of style. So needless to say, I was very curious to see the anime, and now I finally got to see it, and I gotta say, it is really good, guys. It has such the compelling story, so many interesting characters. It was just a roller coaster ride, and I never thought I would ever say that an anime about ping pong was a roller coaster ride. And I personally believe that the excitement in this anime is all attributed to the fantastic and wholly unique animation style. The animation style at first is a bit jarring, I'm not gonna deny that, because you've never really seen an anime done in this style before. It just looks so messy and crude, and you're just like trying to take it all in, and you're very confused, like what is going on here? But that's where the unique quality of this anime lies, how unique its animation style is. I mean, it's so rough and unpolished, and actually it makes it look really cool. Tatsunoko Production, the animation studio behind this anime that have done many animes in the past, most of which I never heard of. I think I've heard of like one or two other animes that they have done, did a fantastic job with this anime. They really put their stamp on it. The voice acting was solid, with each and every character having their own distinct voice. The voice actors and actresses did a fantastic job in their roles. Now sadly, this anime does not have an English dub as of yet, but I personally believe that this is one of the few animes where I don't think it needs an English dub, because it would ruin the entire feel of the anime, especially because one character comes in who speaks entirely in Mandarin. So to have him come to Japan and the characters are speaking English, it just wouldn't feel right. And I really give this anime some props for hiring a real Chinese actor to voice a Chinese character. And his Japanese wasn't half bad either. Now, the story had a bit of a rough start, as it came off as uninteresting with characters that were completely unsympathetic. Like, you just didn't really care about these characters because they themselves didn't really care. But as the story progressed throughout the anime, it got more and more and more interesting and enthralling. Just seeing how the story is unfolding, you want to know what's going to happen next. You want to see these characters redeem themselves after losing to another character. You want to see more of these characters and learn more about them. The story sucks you in. Again, I never thought in a million years that I would say that a story about ping pong kept my interest throughout and was so enticing. Now let's see if an anime can make golf interesting. Now that would be a challenge. But the story is not solely centered around the ping pong tournaments. In fact, you could make the argument that the ping pong tournaments themselves are very secondary in this anime, which is pretty ironic considering that the anime is called Ping Pong the Animation. You would think that they would take center stage, but they don't. It's actually more of a character story. You really see these characters come around and grow. It is a coming of age story, and it's very interesting to learn about their backstories, see what drives them, why do they play ping pong. That's what the story is mainly focused on. And when it's a character driven story, it makes it all the more interesting, especially when it's a sports anime. I mean, the sports should be interesting enough. It's the characters that push it to the next level. And since we're kind of touching upon the whole ping pong tournaments, my goodness, these tournaments are freaking intense, man. Like, they would just go back and forth, back and forth. What? I'm not gonna lie, I was on the edge of my seat in some of these episodes, like wondering who's gonna come out on top, who's the better ping pong player. I mean, they would just go back and forth, these powerhouses. It's like, holy shit, if ping pong was like this in real life, I would watch it every single day. But we don't live in the anime world, we live in the real world. Shit. And I kind of touched upon this when I was talking about the story, but the characters, they are all just so interesting. From the main characters to the supporting characters to the main antagonists to like the mentor characters, all of them, they're well developed, they're interesting, their backstories are fully explored. I was just enthralled by every character in this anime, and they all have really dynamic relationships. At first, I really didn't like our two leads of Hoshino and Tsukimoto. They just came off again as unsympathetic characters that I really couldn't latch onto. I couldn't get attached to them. I just didn't feel a connection. But as the series progressed, as I said, you get to learn a little bit more about them, their insecurities, and why they don't push themselves. And I really love seeing Tsukimoto grow in this anime. I mean, he starts off kind of like, I don't really give a shit. You know, I'm playing this and whatever. Hoshino's not here. Just leave me alone. Seeing him grow and seeing him take ping pong more seriously and really honing his skills, I loved it. It looked really cool. And I really loved his mentor, who's known as Butterfly Joe back in the past. And Butterfly Joe is just the sweetest old man. He's just so freaking adorable. And hearing him like speak English to all of his Japanese students and how he helps Tsukimoto hone his skills. I mean, I love the character. He's so awesome, and he has a really great backstory as well. And many of their rivals are very interesting as well, like the guy that they call Demon. He was pretty cool, and his eyes just look really creepy. I understand why they call him Demon. Kazuma, he's just a freaking built powerhouse. He looks like he could be a football player, honestly. Like, he's completely wasted in ping pong. Like, buddy, come on, man. Go to America and play football. But this guy is freaking badass. Like, this guy is the unstoppable dragon. And his backstory also is very interesting. You learn a lot about his character. And finally, the Chinese character Kong, who is the first antagonist introduced in the anime. He's just freaking brutal, and I really loved how he would just shit talk every single person around him. And again, his backstory is pretty interesting. They actually explain how he ended up coming from China to Japan. There's a reason behind it. And ironically, he's the only character in the entire anime that actually helps out his team. Like, he teaches them the ways of ping pong and teaches them how to get better. I actually felt a strong bond with him and his team. Like, you know, at first, he, of course, he's just like, I don't care about anybody. But as the series progresses, you kind of see him kind of get attached and, you know, get along with all of his teammates, which is a sign of growth in this character. That's awesome to see. I wish they did that with all the teams though, and we'll get to that real soon. In fact, we won't get to that real soon, we'll get to that now, because now we'll talk about the issues that I have with this anime. As I alluded to earlier, one of the biggest issues that I had with this anime was that there was not a real emphasis on team building in this anime. I mean, they are a part of a ping pong team, so you would think that they would help the team grow, but it always felt very individual centric, and that's not what a sport is. You don't focus on an individual. I mean, unless it's like golf or tennis or other sports that deal with one person, but you get my point. They're part of a team, so they have to develop the team and actually help them grow as well, but many of them just felt sidelined. Kong's team is the only team that you actually feel like a camaraderie between them, like you feel like they have a bond. The other teams, it just felt like they all hated these characters that always took all the screen time from them, and they couldn't grow as characters. I mean, if I was a part of their team, I would quit after the first day because I'm not getting any help. They're not helping me improve, so why should I stick around? I might as well just go play basketball for Kuriko's team, because at least they build the team. The next issue with this anime, which is a bit of a small one, but it still needs to be addressed, was that there was this really small subplot dealing with these two characters and a sort of romance that was kind of growing between them. It just doesn't go anywhere, and nothing really changes in their relationship, so it kind of felt unnecessary and pointless. And the last problem with this anime was the overuse of the whole box frame style in the anime. I mean, it would just be used constantly. And I get it, it's a stylistic choice, but it just got really bothersome and annoying to see it over and over and over again. Especially in emotional scenes, I felt like it just was out of place. They didn't really need to use that type of style. Just let the scene speak for itself. And this last thing I'll mention is kind of a nitpick, but I really wish we could have saw the final showdown at the end of the anime. They do show it, but they don't show it in its entirety, and I just wanted to see it just unfold. They kind of cut away at the end. I'm like, I just wanted to see it play through and see who was gonna come out on top. I mean, I kind of knew who was, but at the same time, I would have loved to just see it. But overall, Ping Pong the Animation is an enthralling anime that kept me on the edge of my seat whenever I would watch these ping pong matches, which I never thought I would ever say about ping pong matches. And I highly recommend, if you're a big fan of sports animes or even a big fan of ping pong, to check it out, because I'm gonna give it a 4.5 out of 5 stars. It's one hell of an anime, definitely. But anyway, what did you guys think of this anime? Did you really enjoy it? Did you get a kick out of it? Or did you find it really boring and daunting and you just couldn't stand the animation style and ping pong's just not your thing? And let me know, what is your favorite coming of age story in an anime? Comment below and let me know. And until the next video comes, guys, if you would like to be a part of the Black Critic crew and not miss out on a single awesome video on this channel, please hit that subscribe button below, like this video if you really enjoyed it, and like my Facebook fan page, link will be in the description. And I'm 21 the second, the Black Critic Guy. Till then, peace, YouTube.